From Sky, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Calvi.
Hi, David. How are you?
Good, thanks.
First of all, David, you've played Manchester United twice already this season.
Yeah.
And although you didn't get the results you wanted, you played well both times. Is it a case on Sunday of going there with nothing to fear?
Well, we go there with a lot of credit in the bank with how we played a few weeks ago there. We took them to extra time and ran them close. But, Manchester United have got really good qualities. The game at home, we thought we had played probably even better than we had at Old Trafford. We lost 3-0 in the end, but the first goal was quite obviously out of the pitch, and it sort of changed the fortunes of the game a little bit. But no, look, we know how tough a game it is. Manchester United are playing well. They've only just proved that against Manchester City, so hard game for us.
I know a lot's been written and said about how well you've done this season. I think you're on course for your best season in 35 years. I was just wondering, before the season started, what were your goals? What did you say to the players before the season started?
Well, we had goals which I wouldn't tell you, which we had privately, what we thought we could do. But the ones what I would tell you was I wanted to try and avoid being in the bottom half of the league, because I didn't want to go through the stress levels what I had to last year, which were really difficult round this period last season when we were round the bottom 3 and 4 and staying out at the bottom end of the league. But behind the scenes, we've always been quite positive with the players, and really from day one back in pre-season. I think after our form, after lockdown, when we felt as if we'd played well in that period, it gave us a little bit of hope that if we could do something similar when the season starts, then we'd be okay. But not only have we done that, we've kicked on from that. The players have been fantastic in everything they've done, and more importantly, they've gone about their job really well. Their mentality's strong, and I think they're enjoying it as well.
Mark Noble wrote an open letter to the fans this week, and he's signed a one-year contract. He said that next season is going to be his last season as a player. What kind of future do you see for him in the game, and how difficult has it been for you leaving him out this season?
Well, I think Mark's decision will be whether he wants to stay in the game or not after the year. I don't think that's for any of us to make that call. Will Mark be involved with West Ham in some capacity throughout the rest of his life? I've got no doubt, because of the years he's spent and the effort and his commitment to the club as it is. So I would expect Mark to be around, but whether it's in a coaching capacity or another capacity, who knows? Mark's actually played really well in the games. In fact, Mark, I would say, in the games he's played as well as MD. The games he played, he was very, very good at Old Trafford a month or so ago. He was excellent when we played Chelsea away from home. So I think Mark's games and his form's been very good when he's played. He's just found it quite hard to get in the side because of Thomas Souček and Declan Rice. But the biggest thing about Mark is he's gone about that role in the position very well, handling himself incredibly well. And when we've had to call on him, he's been very good as well.
Just turning to other matters, Chris Wilder will be leaving Sheffield United today. I just wanted to see what your reaction was to that, and whether you expected to see him back in the Premier League soon.
Well, I'm surprised, a bit disappointed as well. But I think we've come to the stage in management, and obviously it's the media as well, who'll see we're seeing lots of people losing their jobs if you're around the bottom end of the Premier League. That's tended to happen. But I think Chris, because of what he's done at Sheffield United, how he's turned the club around, how he brought them back into the Premier League, and last year was an unbelievable year. So if anything shows you, how precarious being a football manager is, it's probably how Chris has done. He had a super season last year, I think finishing 8th or 9th last year, and in this season now finding it tough. So he'll not be short of a job, that's for sure, Chris, because he's done a great job there, and people would recognise he's not just at Sheffield United, but prior to that as well, they'll recognise what he's capable of.
And the final one from me, David, the Premier League is going to be writing to clubs to ask them about what kind of improvements they would make to VAR. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on it. I know a lot of fans would prefer it if they just scrap the whole thing altogether.
I don't think VAR's enhanced our game. I don't think there's many people in football would say that they think it's made it better. I think there's parts of it which we're beginning to accept. I think time will also make it go a bit easier. But I think the saddest part is we're already in a football environment where there's very little emotion, and I think VAR's taking even more of that emotion out of the game. And I think because of that, I think we're finding the game completely sterile, very hard to celebrate, enjoy a goal. You don't know if you have to wait a couple of minutes to somebody tells you it's been given or not. So I think there's lots of parts of VAR which I'm sure have enhanced it, but generally I'm not sure that many footballing people would have seen VAR this season as being a success.
Thanks, Carve. Anita from PLP, please.
Afternoon, David.
Hi, Anita.
So 6 points between you and Man United, and your side have a game in hand. I know you've already acknowledged that it will be a difficult game, but how big a statement would a win at Old Trafford send?
Well, it would add to what we've already done this season, Anita, and if we could go to Old Trafford and pick up 3 points, it would be an incredible achievement for us, because we're on a really good run since the start of the year. We're in good form. The players have taken on all the games, and we're winning, and we're keeping that record going. So if we could do it at Old Trafford, it would be a great achievement.
How big a loss will Jesse Lingard be on Sunday?
A big loss, because he's had a big impact on the team and how we've played. He's been a sort of positive signing for us, bringing him in January. So it is a loss to us, but we've got other people, and what we did want is we wanted competition for the places, the places around sort of number 7, number 11, number 10. We wanted good competition, and Jesse's given us that, but we've got people who can do those jobs as well. So we're hoping that we can go there and show them what we can do. We've played Man United twice this year already. Both games we've lost, but we've both been very close, and certainly the second one had to go to extra time. And the first one we felt a bit hard done by with the decision which was given on the first goal.
You touched on how close those games have been. We've learnt that United could be without Rashford, Martial and Cavani. I mean, has that altered your thinking and approach to the game at all?
I was hoping you were going to mention about another 3 or 4 others as well, Anita. That might have made my alter to my thinking, but I'd have to say that no, it doesn't alter my thinking because of the qualities they've got and the players they can bring in. That's why, if you're at Manchester United, you do have the squad depth, and you have the players who can cover for those losses if they are lost and if they're not available, which we're not sure of yet. But they've got a very good team, so we know that whoever we face is going to be a hard game.
Thanks, Anita. John from BBC 5 Live.
Hi, David.
Hi, John.
Just going back to the VAR. So would you rather now they just got rid of VAR, or do you think there is a place for it in the right format?
I think VAR has not enhanced their game. I think it's caused more problems. I think we're seeing as many poor decisions with VAR as what we were maybe when we were refereeing the game without VAR. But what I would say is I think there is parts of VAR that we have to pick up, and I think this is why we've been set a survey. I hope everybody will look at it. Everybody will have their own ideas and their thoughts on it. And I think the idea is to try and get football people to give their impression of what's happening at the moment. For example, the rules on the handball, rules on slight offsides, which have been some of the things that have come out of it. I don't think we've been keen on. We've seen penalty kick decisions recently. We thought we had an incredibly bad penalty kick decision against Liverpool away from home right at the start of the season, given against us for minimum contact. But now that rule doesn't exist this season. That minimum contact isn't part of it. We had a really bad decision given on in the Manchester United game at home, where the ball goes out the pitch. but they didn't have the cameras in those angles to tell us that it went out the pitch. So that was an assistant error, which I've got to say we accept, because it can happen. I think we find it hard to accept errors when they're also looking at the screens and another referee looking at it. I think that's where maybe a lot of the bits of the VAR, we'd expect that to be more correct than it already is.
Just going back to Mark Noble, obviously he's a massive influence at the club. Will you be talking to him? Will you be quite keen to keep him after the back end of next season in some capacity as a coach, or if he doesn't retire?
Yeah, I've said many times Mark Noble will be around West Ham for as long as he chooses to be in some capacity, I've got no doubt. And no, what I don't want to do is I don't want to rule out the fact that he might play further, that we might need him further than that. So it's Mark's words, and he sees it probably in his last season. I still hope that Mark can continue playing and sees that, if he chooses and he's fit enough and still in condition, that he possibly can do that. But at the moment, we're just glad to get him signed, because he's certainly worthy of a contract and the efforts he's put in over many, many years here.
And if you beat Man United on Sunday, you move within 3 points of them. And I know you said earlier you didn't want to say what your expectations were at the beginning of the season, but this must be way above where you thought you'd be at this stage of the season. You have to say now, with 10 games to go, it's a great opportunity, isn't it, for you and for the players? Yeah.
I can turn around and say to you, John, I'm actually disappointed the league position I'm in, and I think I should be higher up. That might have been my real expectations, but the truth is that we set some goals privately amongst ourselves where we thought we could do and what we wanted to try and achieve. And I know I can say is that players are doing a brilliant job, and as long as we keep driving it through, look, we have 11 games to go. So many things can change in that period. But if we keep the consistency up, which we've shown so far, then we'll give ourselves a fighting chance of being in and around maybe the top 7 or 8, and that might give you a chance of leading to some form of European football.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Cameras off, please. Duncan, do you want to kick off the written for us?
Hi, David. You all right?
Duncan, how you doing?